Bicycles are the new toilet paper. You can't find one. Joining me today to talk about how you might be able to find one and what to look for is Heather Mason, who is a former bicyclist. Thank you so much for joining me, Heather.
You're welcome. I'm excited to connect with you.
Heather, your profile description or your profile sentence caught my attention. Using kindness, general toughness, and kick-ass attitude to promote the best. I love that.
It summarizes it. I mean, I can be really sweet, but I can also be.
Yeah. You're doing so much. I mean, let's talk about the bracelets first, because that was one of the things that really caught my attention. You and your daughter are making rainbow bracelets. Can you tell us about that? What exactly are they? How can somebody buy it? And what are you using it for?
Yeah, so that I have to give my daughter Addison. She's 12 and she goes to Niskuna school. I have to give her all this credit on that. So we're in COVID, right? And we're finding new ways to stay entertained as a family and keep our focus up. And one of my awesome girlfriends sent us some beads just to keep my daughter and I busy. And we're looking through all these beads. I mean, it's beautiful, great trunk of beautiful beads. And my daughter's like, why don't we make bracelets? And we're doing this rainbow hunt. You know, we had a big rainbow on our front door. And next thing you know, she's got this great brainstorm of making bracelets and giving them to people. And then she kind of takes after, I guess, me a little bit. And this like, okay, we're going to make a website. We're going to let people know. We're going to start an Instagram page. And next thing you know, we're making like 200 bracelets. And she had the Gazette interview her. And the bracelets are free. And if people want to donate, we've already burnt through a ton of beads. We're buying more beads and passing it forward. And it's nice people can look down at their wrist and have a sense of hope right now. We've been making them for teachers, healthcare workers, just young kids, older adults, senior citizens. They're absolutely free. So I urge anyone to order one.
What's the website?
Oh gosh, it's a long Google name. I can't think of it.
Okay,
right
so I'll just put it below. I'll get it from you and I'll put it below. And Heather, you used to be a professional bicyclist and you are riding your bike all the time with your daughter. You can't find a bike now. Everybody is bicycling. How can we find a bike?
Yeah, so we're in this bike boom, right? I personally love it. So we went into lockdown, right, or this altered state of living in mid-March. And I've never seen so many cyclists taking to the roads. And it's wonderful. Families are just getting out. But you're right, bicycles. So I work in the industry. I work in the supply side of bicycle. And we get the bikes to the shops. And we're having an issue right now because China went into lockdown earlier. Just the industry can't keep up.
But all the bikes are coming from China. We can't make bikes in the U.S.
Yeah, it's like we can't keep up, and we're putting orders in, but it's like you need 120 days to get bikes into the U.S. So there's a big industry shortage. So right now, some of your local bike shops are still open. They're deemed essential, so they can be open. I know like Freeman's Bridge Sports in Scotia, they're open. Most of those big department store bikes, like your Target or your Walmart,
there's nothing there.
Yeah, they're totally out. So local bike shops are open. They're still supplying. I know Freeman's Bridge has been getting bike orders in almost daily from their suppliers. Used bike sales are, definitely a resource too. And then getting your bike out of your garage that hasn't maybe seen daylight and getting it repaired.
That was me. Awesome. I just took 3 bikes to get fixed. They were all broken. And I said to my kids, seriously, now we want a bike and we don't have one.
I love seeing people out. And on the same topic, please, if you're going out cycling, helmets are so important, even if you're just cruising around the neighborhood. But yeah, there's still bike shops that are open and they're open with you have to wear a mask to go in, or maybe you have to wait outside, but you can still purchase a bike. And it's a great thing to do right from your door.
And if people are looking for good routes to bike, what's your suggestion?
So there's definitely some resources. So in the local, like 518 here, Mohawk Hudson Cycling Club is a great community-based organization. If you go on their website, which is MHCC, you can link to local routes that they have. Also, there's sources such as Ride with GPS. That's a website. So if you www.ridewithgps.com, you can type in your area and say, find routes near me. And routes will come up that other people have ridden. Also, great suggestion is just your local bike path. But if you're going to do that, I highly recommend a mask and maybe going early in the day or late at night, because they're getting a lot of use, a lot of traffic right now.
Did you say you recommend a mask?
If you're going to be on the bike path, for sure, because there's so many people that it's impossible to keep that 6-foot distance.
Okay. And you also you're part of a group, the Bianchi Dama Ambassador team, and you meet via Zoom. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I get excited to talk about this. So I work for Bianchi Bicycles. We're an Italian-based company, and part of my connection with that is that I started this Dama, which is Italian for lady, group, and we are a group of women cyclists all across the United States. And before COVID times, we would go to events and into our retail bike shops and encourage people to come out and talk bikes with us and ask us all those questions about cycling that maybe you've been afraid to ask. Maybe if you walk into the local bike shop, you don't feel comfortable. But we're a group of women, we're drinking wine, we're having coffee, we're hanging out, and we're like, come ride with us and talk with us. So we can't do that now. We can't get out into shops or at events. So on our Facebook page, which is Bianchi Dama Ambassador Team, we have been hosting weekly calls via Zoom where we're just answering people's questions about cycling, chatting about all those, things that.
Can anyone just hop on?
So the Zoom calls are only for the team, but anyone can place a question there's a pin post at the top of our page, what they want us to talk about, and then we'll mention you during the call and answer your question. And yeah, it's been really fun.
You had one yesterday?
We had one last night.
What was one of the topics?
Oh my God. So you never know what people are going to ask, right? And you don't want to not answer any questions. So one of the topics we were talking about, one of the questions was about like if you should wear shorts specifically for cycling, and then if you should wear a cycling bra. And then we talked about vaginas. We had
my favorite word.
And I'm like, can we use this? But we did. And it's a question, cycling, people have a hard time cycling sometimes, especially distance, because it's uncomfortable to sit on the saddle. And that is a thing that keeps people off the bike, right? It makes you sore. So we talked about how to make it better. And a question.
How do you make it better?
So there's bicycle shorts, padded shorts that you can wear. They go right against your skin, no underwear, and wearing that extra little cushion of layer between you and the saddle helps a lot. But when you put those shorts on, if you are not manicured in that area as a woman, you can, or if you do manicure too much and you maybe have ingrown hairs, you can get some really bad saddle sores. So that was a question that brought up like how to not have those. So the answer is either let it grow or keep it really trim.
And it's all women, right?
It's all women, yeah. But
sorry guys, you're out.
But part of this new surge in biking, this new bike boom, is that more people are taking to the sport. And being a person who's on the industry side of it and a person who's been a big advocate for cycling, I want to keep these new cyclists. Like, I want to keep you out riding. So I think it's really important to talk about these things so you can go for a ride and come back loving it and want to go further the next day and further the next day. So
not just do it during COVID lockdown, but continue doing it after.
Yeah. Like create new cyclists for life. And I am super confident that we are going to do that out of this, as long as, like your question with where do we cycle? We need to be able to give you those tools, or new riders those tools, so they're going on comfortable routes and feeling happy and safe. I'm so excited about all the new cyclists. It's awesome.
I want to point out one of your posts because I'm a huge advocate of positivity, and you had on one of your posts, when life gives you Monday, dip it in glitter and sparkle all day. I love that.
I was like, so I send out these. So I also am a columnist. I write for a trade publication, Bicycle Retailer News. And I write articles to my retailers and different emails weekly to keep them positive and keep them pumped up. these bike shop owners are faced with a drastic demand right now, which is keeping up with the new supply and the new need. And they're tired. I mean, we talk about essential frontline workers, and yes, there's so many people right now who are doing so much for everyone. And bike shop owners are, I mean, they're keeping people in a positive manner out recreating. So to meet that adversity, yeah, Monday rolled around and I was feeling like the
people hate Mondays usually, right?
I was like, let's go. And yeah, I'm so happy you brought that one up, because a lot of people were like, yeah, that's a good one. It was fun.
So Heather, how do you do all of this? You do a lot. You're a columnist, you have a daughter, you make bracelets, you give people advice, you have the Zoom meeting. I mean, how do you do it all?
Yeah, I have always been one of those people that if my plate is not, like if I have a to-do list and if I'm not adding to it, I start to feel like, something's not right. So I believe that anything is possible, that anything that you dream of, you can do. And I love to keep creating. I love to keep spreading the smile and spreading the joy. So I don't know, that's how I do it. It's in my DNA, you know, and it's, I love it. I love seeing people happy and spreading that positivity. And I think that's by creating and just passing it forward. And when I meet my dreams, other people can, you know, maybe hopefully get a little energy from that. So
Heather, how can people reach out to you?
Reach out to me on Facebook, send me a message. I'm sure you'll link to my feeds, and ask me anything, where to buy a bike, what bike you should buy. I love to be a resource. So please, feel free, reach out.
And you mentioned the helmets. What other things besides the helmet should people keep in mind and buy?
Yeah, there's so many things when you're getting a new bicycle that you should be sure you have at time of purchase. So simple things like a bike pump. A lot of the new bikes come with valves that won't work with a compressor or won't work at your local Stewart shop. So having a pump so you can fill your tires, some sort of flat kit or a bag for like your cell phone or other essentials you might need to carry. Making sure you have a hydration cage, a water bottle on your bike, certain things that are going to make sure that your ride is more enjoyable. A multi-tool in case you have a little issue on the side of the trail.
You also just recently celebrated your daughter's birthday, and she said it was the best birthday ever. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so that was a combined effort with my ex. Him and I are still super close. And Addison was turning 12 and bummed out, you know, that it was in this time of like, because prior years, I'm the mom that goes big. Like I rented the community center and invited every kid in the whole grade, and we had a huge dance party one year. I always go big. So I was like, oh no, what are we gonna do? And we combined our efforts and we organized a drive-by and birthday. We had the fire department there, and we happened to know one of the firefighters who sang happy birthday to her as they drove by. It gives me goosebumps. Aww. And we put a little video on Facebook, but what people didn't see in that video was after it's over, she was crying, and she said to her dad and I, she said, I've had a lot of awesome birthdays, but I think this is the best ever. Mm. And that, you know, when you're thinking like, oh, this is going to be awful. And so, you know, I think of all the kids graduating this year and all the things, you know, weddings being put off or altered. And, you know, we think, oh, that's so sad. And it is sad. But maybe the memories that are going to come out of it are going to be super special too. So we're trying to find the positivity in that, right?
Make the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah, because it can be more. You can be better, you know, just in a new way.
Right. Yeah. Heather, is there something else you would like to add that I didn't ask?
I just want to, you know, we are in a different time right now. And for me, as we've been going through it as a family, I've noticed that my connection to my kids, my friends, and, you know, I've even now met you, my connections are getting deeper. So I think that there's a lot of uncertainty, but I think what's most certain is that we can rely on our friends and our neighbors and our family during this time. So I just want to add that. I just feel like that's important to remember. Yeah, like it's...
Heather, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us for this interview. Be safe and go ride your bike.